Koshka Batiste ban on both sides, and then a Vox pickup for the first pick out of Feroxx. CP Vox seems to be back in the meta, Burger.
Yeah, that's really smart with the Koshka ban, actually, because Koshka got reworked in 2.12, the update that just dropped. She went back to her original state where she got a barrier when her B ability got used, and so she's incredibly strong, especially 3v3 net right now. And so that was really smart to ban her away. And CP Vox is now viable again.
Yeah, the CP Vox is just does so much AoE damage with something like an Aftershock Dragon's Eye or Dragon's Eye or alternating current Dragon's Eye. There's a couple of different build paths that I think is quite viable for CP Vox in general. You of course want to include at least a Dragon's Eye and even a Broken Myth, obviously, to shred through that that shield. But yeah, we see a Grace ban coming out from Fuerza Latina,
especially a Rona pick too.
Yeah, for Rona pick, it's not bad, but I'm kind of surprised they banned the Grace. The reason why is because if they had banned something like a Churnwalker, which provides AoE damage, picking up the Grace to dive in with the Rona would have definitely put the Vox under a lot more pressure. Arden ban coming out from Feroxx and Burger, I don't think it's the wisest decision, even though Arden goes well with Rona. The reason why I think Churnwalker should have been banned, because Churnwalker also has that AoE damage. So with what I presume it will be a CP Vox, that AoE damage heading out towards Churnwalker with those hooks chained on is actually going to benefit Fuerza Latina if they do pick up that Churnwalker, plus the pull coming out from Churnwalker and the stun, the trespass and the torment can potentially very much lock down the Vox but they've gone for Cath.
Yep, and we see the Cath pickup here for Fuerza, which is a really good idea in my opinion, because you come in with Merciless Pursuit, you stun up Vox, and then Rona can jump on him. And CP Vox, as we see Churnwalker being picked up by Feroxx, if CP Vox needs to be at range to do damage well, we're assuming it's a CP Vox still, and so by diving on top of him, you're taking away the tools that he has to do damage really effectively, and Churnwalker can't really peel that well, as we see Cruel, so it will be a CP Vox.
Definitely will be CP Vox, and one thing to note about this Cruel did get a buff in the last patch, 100%. His perk is on cooldown before it's activated from 1.5 seconds to 1 second, Burger, and then the speed boost you get from that perk, I believe, has gone up from 2% to 4%, I believe. But Attacker is the last pick coming out from Fuerza Latina. Not a bad choice. However, one thing I fear is because the AoE damage coming out from Vox is potentially going to make it easier to actually take the Taka out of the Kaku and actually shut the Taka down. So I think both comps are very interesting. Even though Catherine wasn't a bad pick, Burger, I don't know how much she's in the meta or is going to become in the meta in this 2.12 patch compared to Churnwalker, who is still very strong.
Yeah, the Fuerza is going with a super heavy triple melee dive comp, which can work very well. We've got huge amounts of burst coming out of Taco. We've got burst damage from Cath as she picks up an Aftershock late game. And, Cruel, depending if they want to do tanky Cruel or super damage Cruel, it can be very risky because damage Cruel can probably delete the Taka if he gets popped out of Kaku, but if he dodges out of the Dead Man's Barrier attack, which is probably going to be tension bowed, then that's a lot of damage that he's avoiding, and he can probably burst down Cruel from there. And we're getting into this this match right here. What's your pick? Who do you think's got the stronger draft right now?
I do think it is the side of Feroxx, To be honest, I'm gonna give it to them just because I think Cruel is very strong in this 2.12 meta. So is Vox, and they just have a really strong overall good kiting and dive comp. And I just think when it comes to late game, they're going to essentially overpower the side of Fuerza Latina. However, that's not to say that Fuerza can't shut down with the early game, use Taka as much as a distraction and then leave Rona a better chance to shut down the Vox, but we'll find out.
Yep, we see Sasuke, oh no, Chamu stole the camp actually, as Moshi gets jumped on, he goes very low, pops the flask, Lanes is gonna burst him down with a couple basic attacks, and Jay-chan is gonna chase Rona down, but not gonna be able to find that kill, as Taka, he's got the chain on him, he looks like he's in trouble here. He's taking a bunch of damage from Jay-chan, but he will probably get away here.
Look how much of a difference, just to point out.
Oh, look at that. There's your Cruel buff in action right there.
You look at the bar, how quickly that is half a second for that perk, and it makes a big
And there goes, he stole that camp.
Exactly. No, it actually wasn't stolen by the
but he might get caught out here. He's gonna pop the flask, maybe get away. Oh yeah, that speed boost is just too strong. Oh, the barrier is keeping him alive just a little bit more. The lifesteal lane's going so low. Oh, and he's gonna take him out. The sustain from Cruel is too much, even so early in the game. And Fuerza Latina is already on the back foot.
They are somewhat on the back foot. It's still close between the two teams. Let's not deny that. So, of course, early game I feel has been won by Feroxx so far. But the goal difference is minimal. I do think that Mini Sido doesn't really know where to go right now. He needs to kind of be in either the jungle or the lane, whereas being in between, he's not really gaining much ambient gold, and then he's not really able to get to his team that quickly. Good pressure coming out from Feroxx in lane, though, Burger.
Yeah, and speaking of lane, they're pretty far shoved up as we see Lanes and Jay-chan dueling in the jungle a little bit, just fighting over those back camps. And we see Sasuke going pretty low up the top. That turret is already at about a quarter health. And we see Feroxx just rotates down to take out Fuerza's jungle, which is a really smart move considering that their jungler is busy. And they know that Jay-chan can just sustain his way out of an early game fight, especially since Taka doesn't have X-Retsu yet. And so we see Moshi getting jumped on. He's going so low, but he pops the flask to stay alive. Chamu with those hooks and chains doing a little bit of regeneration, but will it be enough? Yes. Uchiha Sasuke is going to have to back off. Not going to be able to dive under turret just quite yet.
No, but that, again, want to remark on the rotation that you mentioned that came out from Chamu and Mozji. Really good map awareness. Burger, it helped increase their gold lead by a consistent 400, and also it just helps stop the Taka getting to level 6 earlier. Still only at level 4. The crew is at level 5 and Mozji is at level 5. So the jungle and the support on the side of Feroxx are about half level to a level ahead of Fuerza Latina. So if they can turn that into a map or objective advantage in a teamfight engagement, that will really spell good stuff for them.
Yeah, some interesting stuff. As we get into engage here, Lanes gets that shot onto Moshi, but he's gonna get caught out. The flare's gonna make sure he can't get away. Full stacks now on him by Cruel, and that wait for it's actually gonna start doing damage now that he's CP Vox. And that's 3-1 Fuerza as Taka picks up a Storm Crown. And this turret will fall, most likely. Yes, it will. Mini Saito, full stacks. He's going to have to be extremely careful, but Looks like this is all that Feroxx is probably going to be able to squeeze out of this push here, especially with a full health Taka coming back. So hopefully they'll disengage, but they're just keeping up the pressure. Lane's already down to half health. This Cruel is just too strong. He's backing off as all three members of Fuerza Latina look damaged and scared behind their own turret.
Yeah, I want to talk a little bit about that Storm Crown. Storm Crown got changed for the 2.12 patch, essentially back to the way it was previous, as I just looked to bring up the statistics for you in terms of the changes. So basically, you know, the basic attacks deal bonus true damage per second, and it essentially helps to clear farm a lot better and help your hero get up those levels quicker. However, it only works, Burger, if you're really doing that. But because Fuerza Latina have not really focused on farming in this early stages, whether it's counter jungling, whether it's really kind of getting a CS advantage, it's not really paying off for them, at least in terms of with the Taka so far. So yes, the Storm Crown does good basic damage, but because there's no real burst compared to the Aftershock, when it comes to teamfight engagement, it's not going to really do much against Moshi. As it goes,
Moshi getting spotted out here. Shamu's got triple chains. As Moshi gets jumped on, Jay-chan, come help your friends. But he's not going to even need it. That just bounce damage. He's just doing so much. As Taka will go get deleted already. Sasuke already at full stacks. And that the dead man's smite, spectral smite, my bad, will get popped on Rona. And she's just going to be forced to back off and farm. And another interesting item was that the first item, Shiver Steel, on Cruel. Shiver Steel, not something that we've seen in the meta for a while, but now especially that it gives you bonus attack speed, and Cruel is a lot more mobile now with his perk change. They're just wanting to focus Taka and make sure he can't get away. But it might be Jay-chan who can't get away this time, as he's getting tons of damage laid down on him, but Jay-chan will stay alive. Mortal Wound. Oh, Mortal Wound will take him out. But Taka will fall as well. 2 and 4 already for lanes, as Sasuke jumps in. Both members are going to be silenced. Moshi going very low, pops the flask to stay alive, doing a lot of basic attack damage. But Chamu's doing good heal for his teammate. As Sasuke is so low and he will go down. A mini Saito, he will also fall. Double kill for Moshi. And he's got to get out of there before lanes can attack him.
He has, because Chamu had popped the fountain in that team fight engagement against the Rona and the Catherine. Just one thing to point out, yeah, great by the Vox and Turnwalker to kind of hold their own against the Rona and the Cat, but what did they gain out of that, Burger? They didn't gain anything from an objective point of view. Yes, their goal lead is at about 4K at this stage. Strong, very well played by them, but they could have possibly taken out the Crystal
jumping on Taka again, and the Shiver Steel will just keep him so close, and a 500 damage Spectral Smite finishes him off. Man, if you're lanes right now, what do you do even against this Cruel?
You wait for the Taka to get something like Broken Myth as well, and then look to engage onto the Vox. Vox has to be your focus on all three members of Fuerza Latina.
Yeah, as we see this turret gonna get chunked down a little bit. Team Feroxx has just got complete map control right now. They're forcing fights in jungle. Lanes is just getting deleted. And especially as a Taka, he's only just completed his Aftershock. And, you know, he's going to get some pretty fast jungle clear with Stormcrown. But if your jungle is never up, then, you know, it's not a whole lot use picking it up, if you know what I mean.
Oh, yeah, exactly. That's the thing. That's why I said, you know, all well and good building Stormcrown first item. But if you're not actually using the Stormcrown to his advantage, as in terms of playing it safe, getting farmed up, getting your next 2 items as quickly as possible, then engaging on the enemy, you're not really using the item to its full advantage. So, like, I do know that Stormcrown was possibly changed to kind of suit 5v5, but it still has a very viable place in 3v3 once you use it right. So, you know, like see Fuerza Latina, just be a little bit more careful as it is 2v2, and that damage coming out from CB Vox is pretty damn disgusting, even with just an alternating current and a dragon life. But those stacks are going to build up quickly, Burger.
Yep, already forcing the backport out of Taka. That's really not good, especially as this minion wave is gonna be marching down. Something I did notice, Jachan only has 35 farm at 10 minutes or 11 minutes, which isn't that crazy, but it's been all Fuerza's farm as Moji gets jumped on, mortal wounds, but that huge sword coming out was gonna block it up, keep his team alive, and a double stun. Kath is going solo. She's got a ton of weakness stacks. If she goes down, Moshi still alive, but he will fall. Just Rona left for Fuerza. And against a Cruel and a Churnwalker, you don't want to contest that.
No, you don't. Could possibly steal a gold mine. Wouldn't be a bad thing, but you just
but the target switch, already full stacks. And he's just getting sustained damage. It's just too strong. And Cruel's just jumping straight back on the gold miner.
It's a wise thing to do. Take an objective, increase your gold lead. However, Uchisa could go great.
He got the great hook. Taka is gonna get it. Nope, Cruel's gonna pick it up, but he gets Atlas and he's gonna have to back off. He's got Breaking Point, he's got Poison Shiv, he's got a Shiver Steel. This is looking like a pretty scary, a scary summer zombie person thing.
Yeah, indeed. That crew is definitely looking dangerous on the attack. However, he does need to now tank up on defense.
Oh, the face check. Face check OP, but he gets stunned up. Full stacks, and he's going to have to back away. Kath just taking all of this free damage, and Kath will go down already. He gets stunned here, Taka, and the Flare's going to make sure he can't get out, and another kill to Cruel. 6-1 with 10 breaking point stacks already. This is looking like a bit of a snowball.
It is, and you know, Mini Silo even got shut down before the fountain was used, Burger. So that just shows how quickly he got shut down, and you know, that's what I mean. Like Catherine, I just don't think is as viable in the 2.12 patch, Burger. She even got a bit of a nerf, to be honest. You know, her Merciless Pursuit stun has gone down by, I believe, 0.2 of a second. And then the cooldown has increased on her ultimate as well on the silence. So that means that's not being, it's not coming up or being made available. So they're not as much, so they're not really able to take advantage of that, Burger. And it just means they're having to be, let's say, more careful when they engage on these team fights. And when you're against a Cruel and a Vox and a Churnwalker, if you give up that engagement control, you're nearly giving up the game as a Cruel's going out.
Yep, Cruel's gonna catch out Taka a little bit. He's already got full stacks. He's gonna dodge the trespass. The Kaku won't keep him safe for long. As we see Moshi getting jumped on, CP Vox not very good at close range, but Taka will die yet again. Jachan is just looking so good on this Cruel. He's going so far under turret. Can he get the smite off? No, he can't. He's going to have to back off. And now he's in a kind of a predicament here. Sasuke.
Hello, everybody. We do humbly apologize about this small audio technical issue. It unfortunately wasn't on our side. Discord decided to just it done broke, and we
It's
unfortunately
Imperium's fault. Everything's Imperium's
probably
fault.
yeah, of course. Of course it is. Blame the Irish guy. Racist. Anyway, but yeah, however, we have managed to get things sorted. Funnily enough, we managed to connect through Discord again, but through private call. But anyway, that was a fantastic first game win coming out from Feroxx. They did seem to dominate that burger. There's not really much I feel that we can talk about it. They won in comp overall. I said they had the better comp. They took advantage of the AoE damage plus the strong front line with the Cruel. What do Fuerza Latina have to do in this second game to get back into it?
Dive with the dive comp. That's what they tried to do first game. They had the huge dive potential, but they couldn't capitalize because Cruel was already taking Taka down to less than half health, and there was nothing that he could really do about it. And we're getting game 2 set up real quickly here. And what do you hope to see out of these next couple matches?
Well, Feroxx, they're one game ahead. I believe that there's a certain level of, I wouldn't say being able to relax, because it is best of 5 at the end of the day in this division match burger. So, I think they're confident with how they played the first game, how they played the comp, they use the power spikes to their advantage. And then on the side of on the side of Fuerza Latina, like you mentioned, they need to really kind of follow up with a proper dive comp if they're going to go dive. However, if they aren't going to go dive, they just need to simply look to pick heroes that are, let's say, maybe a little bit more in the meta. Catherine, I just don't think is there at the moment. Maybe pick something like a Samuel, who I feel is very strong from the AoE point of view, and then
Yep.
just look to build better, based on comp and the strength they have in the game. But we are into the draft. This second game, Fuerza Latina are on the left-hand side, so they have both first ban and first pick, and Feroxx are on the right-hand side. So it's going to be interesting what Fuerza Latina ban as our first ban. I imagine it's going to be a Vox.
Yeah, either Vox or Koshka, because you do not want to let her get through, especially 3v3. She's just the balance changes for 5v5, I think, have unbalanced 3v3 a little bit, as we see Churnwalker being banned by Fuerza here.
Yeah, which is actually a good ban by Fuerza, because if Feroxx ban Vox, then Fuerza can possibly pick up either Ringo or Koshka as their first pick. And if Feroxx ban Koshka or Ringo, then Fuerza can pick up Vox as their first pick. It would make sense. As I said, look, the 2.12 patch is still very fairly new for these guys, Burger. So the meta might not quite be discovered, but it's really obvious that Vox on the CP build is the new Varia at the end of the day.
Yeah.
He is the new Varia. Maybe not quite the range, but the AoE and the kit that he provides is just so hard for an enemy to shut down. So Feroxx banned the Arden.
Ooh, and they pick up the Vox this time.
Makes sense. The only thing I can think of is that Feroxx are going to look to maybe pick up a Koshka. It's not necessarily the safest first pick, but it is very strong. They have second pick as well. So if you pick up, let's say, the Koshka first pick and then maybe ban away a Grace, you then have 3 support heroes off the table straight away. Strong support heroes. It does leave a couple of, let's say, off meta ones, but I want to point out that I feel, as Grace is picked up as their first pick, I feel Lance is actually quite strong in this 2.12 patch, Burger, that he is becoming a little bit more in the meta, and I feel that he will find his place stronger on the fold in this new patch.
Yeah, crowd control is becoming the new healing meta. We saw like the double heal comps that used to be played so often in 3v3 that now especially with 5v5, you have now more bodies on the fold. And more bodies means more people to Githian wall or to root in place. So I'm a one-trick Lance main myself, so I'd love to see him, especially, golden Lance skin. Oh, so nice.
It is very nice, and I'm not going to say it makes you play better, but when you do play with his skin,
Dang it, they banned
Lance
him
is
away.
taken off the table. That's not a bad idea, because you have Arden, Lance, Churnwalker, and Kath either picked or banned. So Feroxx are looking to essentially shut down, force Fuerza to either pick the Catherine, Finn, or Lyra, or even maybe Adagio as their support. Don't think it's going to be Lorelei, to be honest. I just don't feel Lorelei is going to be quite as strong. That's really good kind of focus by Feroxx in the second game in the series.
Remember the Captain Glaive and Captain Grumpjaw days? Oh, those are fun. As we see Koshka getting banned away by Fuerza, smart use of their last ban. They could have just kept targeting the captain position and maybe making Chamu from Feroxx play something he's not comfortable on. And if your captain's playing something they're not comfortable on, that can impact your entire match, really, because your captain is usually your shot caller. And without the shot caller, then, objectives might get lost that might otherwise be picked up.
Of course, objectives, map rotation, map focus. 100% agree with you, Burger. The captain is such an important role, and when you have that shot calling ability as a captain, it can really make a difference on the team. I've seen it myself. I've even done it myself, even though I'm not the best player from an ability point of view. I'm aware of when a hero needs to be picked up, or when a play needs to be taken advantage of. As we do see Adagio, I feel that's going to be a weapon power Adagio.
Yeah. Or maybe even CP to get just massive healing, I guess, because CP Vox can outrange a weapon power Adagio with his with the basic attack bounces. And so I'd imagine that Feroxx is going with a strong weapon power jungler here, maybe a Cruel or a Glaive, or someone that can just get sustained. And then, CP Vox is super squishy. Like we saw last game, if Rona got the chance to dive, she would just get he would get bursted down super quick. And as they're taking this time with the draft, what do you expect to see out of here?
Well, it's funny because you mentioned the Grumpjaw. Just want to point out Grumpjaw did get a buff in this patch. His move speed is increased. That's obvious reasons for the 5.5. But his Grumpy ability, the slow strength, has increased by 10% to 65%. The cooldown on his Hangry has been decreased from 9 seconds to 8 seconds. And what is most possibly one of the most important changes to his kit, on his stuffed ultimate, he no longer spits out he's eaten victim when stunned or silenced.
Man, look at this. Sorry to interrupt, but look at this comp. We've got Vox, Taka, Cruel. Now, I know back in like 2015, we had a Roam Taka that did some work, but I would imagine it's a Roam Cruel, and he just build crazy utility items, and then, get a stun off when needed, and then a weapon power Vox Crystal Taka. But, oh man, I don't even know what to make of this at this point.
It could be one thing that I'm trying to play out as we wait for Feroxx to pick their last pick. It's very interesting. I like to see these different picks. It definitely could be a support Cruel, but the Cruel would look to pick up as a Rhyme does come
so
out.
It is going to be a weapon Adagio.
Yeah, I felt it was going to be weapon Adagio. I don't quite know why, but I just felt it was going to be weapon Adagio. Maybe they changed it from CP to weapon power based on the last two picks coming out from Fuerza Latina. But yeah, just to talk about the Fuerza Latina comp, the Cruel, I think it's going to be support Cruel, but as I said, he might look to pick up something like a Poison Shiv, second or third item after the Fountain. Maybe Fountain, Crucible, and then pick up something like a Poison Shiv. The reason why I say Poison Shiv is because with the changes to his perk, being able to get onto the Adagio a little bit quicker and just kind of helping with those mortal wounds could also help the rest of the team dive on, because Adagio has to be the focus for the engagements coming out from Fuerza Latina. The sustain that's going to come out from the Ryan means there's like little chance you're really going to be able to shut him down quite quickly. So Adagio has to be the focus. Building something like a Poison Shiv on, or even, as I said, double Poison Shiv from whoever else is going to be weapon, because I believe it could be Taka, quite possibly, with that CP Vox in lane. So yeah, Poison Shiv, third item coming out from Cruel, could actually give Fuerza Latina a bit of a chance. It all comes down to how strong and stable Feroxx play this comp with a Grayson Ryan that's going to be good frontline defense.
Yeah, and if you've ever seen me cast, I love off-meta crazy stuff that just doesn't seem like it would work, but it works so well. And with Vox getting that crystal bit, it makes me think they're doing a weapon Taka.
Yeah, and I think weapon Taka is as viable, if not more viable, than we've seen, especially with the spell sword, which provides good cooldown. And then also with those basic attacks, he's actually going to help possibly shut down either both the Rhyme or the Adagio. And if you're able to get on the front line with the Poison Shiv, let's say Spell Sword, Poison Shiv, first two items coming out from the Taka, you're going to be able to apply those mortal wounds and help negate some of the healing that's going to come out from the Adagio, and then cause a distraction to help the Vox build up resident bounces, as we do see them fighting over the area.
Yep, flare's coming out, so they're gonna jump in. Both carries at level 2. Jay-Chan gets bursted pretty hard, but he's gonna get Chamu's gonna land a double stun, but he's gonna go down already. So much damage already at level 2, and Jay-Chan is gonna get caught out here trying to port, but Feroxx's or Fuerza Latina's comp right now is too squishy really to do anything at level 2. But once Cruel gets his support items, once Taka gets a little bit more in his inventory, then he can get a little bit more tanky. As we see Jay-Chan getting jumped on here, he's going so low, but nobody really wants to engage. But here comes Lanes with the one basic attack. Stabby McStabberson at your service. We'll finish him off.
Yeah, exactly, and that's one thing that people kind of forget. In the last patch, CP Taka was building most very strong CP Takas were building double weapon blades at the start of the game to help with both farming and the initial engagement that was going to come out from either him or
Moshi getting caught out. He's going to get away safely. Yeah, not too much chase coming out of Fuerza yet, but Taka, Grace just goes ham as he was trying to steal the jungle, and that's a big kill here for Team Feroxx.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's a big kill though, because at the end of the day, the Adagio had to pour back, and a kill is only really a kill if the enemy if the enemy team doesn't take advantage of it. As in, yeah, okay, we do see now in the Taka's jungle, if Feroxx had invaded the Taka's jungle and taken a lot of the Taka's jungle, yes, that would have been a disadvantage in terms of the Taka going down. But when there's no advantage taken, a death is just a death.
Yeah, if I can just say really quickly, Lane's inventory. He's got a 6 Sins, a Weapon Blade, and a Stormguard banner. So if he's gonna build that Storm Crown for extra jungle clear, like we saw him do first game with CP Taka, I really don't feel like Weapon Taka needs one.
No, I think he's just building the Storm Crown just to really help with that extra farm, because looking for that 6 Sins, I think that is going to go into a spell sword, as we do see Chamu is being engaged on.
Yep, he's getting jumped on, but he will back off with those holy shields. Going to decrease the amount of damage he takes, and Mini Saido on Cruel is he's just being a nuisance, and that's honestly the best thing you can do as Cruel, especially against, this kind of comp, a low mobility comp with Rhyme and Adagio, that, as we see, Fuerza rotating up, Kaku gonna jump onto Moshi, but the successful counter dive from the Holy Nova will keep them at bay for now, as we see just the farming phase.
Yeah, it's pretty kind of standard farming phase. Nice rotation from the Taka Burger, just to kind of help put the pressure a little bit more onto the Adagio, stop him from just kind of farming a little bit easier. Now we do see the rotation coming out from Feroxx with the Rhyme coming up, and let's see what can be done from a third small push coming out, as we do see all of
Moshi taking so much damage from this tension bow that Lanes has just picked up. That turret's going to take about a third health, and that's going to be it, as Moshi is so low, he's forced to port already. He's got a poison shiv in his inventory, and Lanes is just going for a huge burst build, I feel like, with this tension bow. And as Chamu's going to try to defend his turret here, and Jay-Chan gets slowed up by the pulse, he won't have a chance to engage.
Yeah, he won't have a chance to engage, and that tension bow pickup, it kind of makes sense. I actually kind of feel against his comp, because look at the burst.
Oh, it's disgusting amounts of burst already. Moshi already less than half health, trying to defend this turret. Jay-Chan and Chamu are going to come up to help him, but that's going to be a turret down. Oh, Lane's got caught out a little bit. He's out of energy. He's going to be forced to retreat, as so does Sasuke. He retreats out, not wanting to really do anything that would lead to any advantages, because they still have first turret up. and the first turret goes down, that opens up a huge area of the map that Feroxx can control. And since Feroxx took such good map control first game, that's something that they really don't want to give up.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. Map control says a lot. Let's talk about this tension bow. Pick up a little bit more. It makes sense because as attacker, you do have a chance that you're going to be, let's say, shut down mid-engagement. As we do see, Lannis is kind of in the jungle area.
Yep, getting caught out here. The fortified health on Rhyme, I see maybe a misclick on his ult, but Moshi already popping his flask, but huge damage that Lanes is receiving, but he's also dishing out damage. So Jachan is the fortified health by his Winter Spire is gonna keep him alive, and especially because the damage isn't gonna be that great from his abilities as Sasuke takes so much damage. Moshi's range is just too good, especially with the Adagio buff in 2.12, and he's going to be forced to port away as Goldmine's going to be started by Team Feroxx here.
Yeah, it could be gaining a little bit of control. No, they're going to be just playing it careful as Shamu puts on vision, but it is popped on the side of Fuerza Latina. So yeah, see, that's why I think Tension Bow isn't a bad choice, because even though, yeah, it's not having the best follow-up damage burger, when you're attacking in against this comp, there's kind of a high risk that you're gonna be caught out in some way, shape, or form. And you know, if you add at something like, let's say, Spell Sword Breaking Point or something like that, I don't think that would have been as effective.
Oh, the double root from Jachan. He's gonna delete Vox so quickly. And there's the problem with this Fuerza comp. They're just too squishy. Lanes is not he's not able to receive as much damage as he's taking, and they're already pushed back behind turret. And with a level 8 Moshi, level 8 Jachan, those abilities are going to get overdriven, and we see the Mortal Wound going to cut down so much healing from Saito. And this turret might fall here already at the 8-minute mark, but a huge sword coming out. Going to stun up Moshi, but he's going to get chased down by Lanes, healed up. And the stun lands on Saito. Cruel is so low, but Grace is going to get finished off. What looked like a one team fight for Feroxx going to come back. And now they're down here in this team fight.
Yeah, but down but not out. As you do see, Rhyme is left on his own 3v1 burger.
Yep, he's going to drop the ult. Going to get a bit more fortified health, but not a whole lot he can do in that situation. And Fuerza Latina is going to pick up this gold mine here.
Yeah, but I that must have been a miscommunication somewhat coming out from Feroxx, because I don't get why the Rhyme went away from the rest of his team and essentially caused them to lose that team fight, left the Grace and the Adagio somewhat high and dry, left them hanging burger. And you know, when you're working as a team, that's gonna kind of cause your team more issues in team fight engagement if you let that happen. So I think a little bit more tightness as the turret does go down, a little bit more team tightness coming out from Feroxx will give them a lot better chance in these team fights. As I really want to see Poison Shift picked up from Taka right now. I think it would have been a lot better choice of feel than the Storm Crown, because Storm Crown, it's good for basic stacks, but let's not forget the Poison Shift does give you attack speed as well as weapon power damage, plus both the healing and the mortal wounds. As an overall item, stronger than Storm Crown, I feel, at least.
Yep, and they've got the go signal from Shamu. They're going to dive in. Jachan gets a root on Sasuke, and the huge stun going to come out. Holy Nova gets blocked, but Sasuke is so low already, but stunned up. Jachan is so low. Taka is just getting damage dished onto him, and they're going to have to run away here. That's a one team fight from Feroxx. Maybe they can get another turret out of this with the minion wave pushing in. They're just being so aggressive. Saito gets a little bit of a damage, but he gets punished for it. And Rhyme is going to get punished himself, but he's not going to let Taka take him down. Fortified health and 2 energy points, keeping him alive. Team Feroxx is looking in a really good spot right now.
They're getting more and more control, but I want to talk about the fact that Fuerza Latina, their team fight engagement has been on the rhyme. Their focus needs to be the Adagio. Adagio's in the back line in these engagements. Yes, the rhyme being chunked down is being chunked down somewhat, Burger, but it's a rhyme. The sustain is unbelievable coming out from him. He has first of all, he has journey boots, so he's actually getting away from a team fight engagement on him quite quickly. But he has a Dragon's Eye. I believe he's going to look to build into the Eve of Harvest as a second item, but he's tanked up on defense. It's going to be so hard to shut down the rhyme. As I said, forget about the rhyme, ignore the rhyme, go as a 3-man team onto the Adagio, shut him down, and then you give your team the best possible chance.
Right, especially since Adagio doesn't have any movement abilities. He just has heal, damage boost, and his big attack. So if they can catch him, it's going to be really hard for him to get away, especially because he doesn't have journey boots yet either. He can't. His mobility is super limited, but Team Feroxx is going to be all infused up, and they're going to look for a fight. As there we go. There's the Adagio jump that you were talking about, but it's not going to be followed up on as the huge Valkyrie's going to land. Jay-chan gets stunned up here, but he's sustaining. He's got a good amount of damage as Sasuke takes a lot of damage here. He's just gonna get stuck on like a fly on paper as a huge stun gonna come out from Adagio, and that's gonna be another one team fight for Feroxx coming back from behind in this match. As we saw the strategy from lanes was jump on Adagio, Atlas him, and so because he's got 2 items that give him more attack speed. As the gold miner gets started up here a little bit, but Moshi knew that immediately once he got Atlas, he just popped his ult, and the ult allows time for the Atlas to wear off, as well as just give a huge amount of damage, as well as a stun. And if lanes, his biggest tool is his mobility, and if you get rid of the mobility, then he dies extremely easily. And as Team Feroxx, for the first time, will be looking at a gold lead instead of a deficit. If you are Fuerza Latina, what do you think that they need to do to maybe get back in this game mentally?
Well, yeah, they need a Crucible. You know, Mini Saito needs a Crucible and needs it right now. I understand the Shiver Steel, but it's not really going to do much in a team fight when you have a lot of not sustain, but a lot of CC coming down from Team Feroxx. When you have the Holy Nova, you have the Adagio ultimate, then you even have the ultimate that's coming out from the rhyme. So a Crucible is absolutely vital, even though Aegis has come out onto this Vox.
Oh, and there's the go signal. Jay-chan pops his boots. He's not able to find a route, but his team is here to back up. As they're just going to look to reposition here. Maybe deny some farm. As, nope. Sasuke's going to pick that one up. But that was a good engage out of Feroxx, even though nothing really happened.
Yeah, good indeed. That's definitely a good engage from Feroxx. It shows that they are still in this game. They want to just maintain the dominance, as that healing sentry was just taken by Taka. But this turret is going to go down, Burger.
The turret will fall, and that's going to be maybe the end of this push. You know, Feroxx with it's a 2v3 until Taka gets back, and that Atlas is going to delay the push even further. As we see getting jumped on again, Valkyrie's going to miss, but Vox going so low, Fountain gets popped to keep him alive. As Jay-chan gets a ton of damage put onto him, but he's sustaining. Fountain gets popped to keep him alive as well. As Moshi is going to start to stack up breaking point here. Jay-chan is so low, but he's surviving, and he will fall. Sasuke dies from the cold damage as the Crystal Sentry, almost like a third player here, attacking for Fuerza Latina as Lance gets, he dodges it, and Adagio will fall. Chamu, the only one left on his team. That team fight went horribly wrong for Feroxx, especially with Kraken up.
Fantastic, eh? So just want to talk real quick about the kiting that came out from the Vox. Was absolutely immense. Now has a broken myth, which will really help shedding the shield that's coming out from Feroxx. But also it's a little things, Burger, where the chitin that came out from Lana was absolutely perfect to block out the Holy Nova. You know, it's a little plays like that that really help your team secure a kill, and in that case, it secured an ace for them and secured a Kraken. So this second game is a lot closer, Burger. Both teams are really giving it their all. Fuerza Latina are just trying to prove that with this slightly off-meta comp, that, you know, the mistakes they made in the first game, they are recovering from them and they were ready to take the second game.
Yep, here comes the turret push. That's where your Storm Crown's going to start coming in as they successfully Atlas all three members. And Jay-chan already going so low is going to stun up Cruel here. And the Kraken is just keep pushing. They need to focus that the big guy down. But Lane's doing a lot of turret damage, actually, which is going to benefit him as Moshi gets healed up by Divine Intervention. Fuerza Latina is going to crack this base open. Moshi going so low, he's going to get Atlased again. But Saito will fall, and with Lanes just not wanting to give up an ace, that's 500 gold to each member of Feroxx as they kill this Kraken.
Yeah, that's a 2.5 Kraken turret. Sorry, 2.5 turret Kraken push plus a Crystal Sentry on the side of Fuerza Latina. That is essentially the definition of a perfect Kraken push, Burger. You know, especially when you have a lot of dive potential coming out from the enemy team where you don't necessarily want to engage too hard, too fast. They played it safe. The attacker did really good stuff onto the turret with his X-Retsu and his chitin. Yeah, Vox in the background just doing nice resonance stacks and damage onto all of the team plus the turret. And yes, you know, the Cruel and the Vox should eventually go down, but I said they didn't get aced. They got 2.5 turrets and they got a Crystal Sentry, so very successful. As Feroxx are looking to just be a bit more aggressive in this, you know, look to maybe find an out of position situation where they can jump onto all of the enemy team and see what this next team fight I think is going to be a very important one. Could possibly be the game-winning team fight if one team aces the other, Burger.
Yep, and there goes the sentry down. Just more objectives going in the pocket of Feroxx. Maybe getting a little bit more gold, a little bit more defense. As we see this, the Flare's going to spot them out here. As Feroxx is just going to back off. Kraken's not up yet, and they don't want to give up this team fight when they're not ready. Especially since, as here comes Kraken, all three members are infused on Fuerza, while they're not on Feroxx.
Yeah, and that's good. And also we see Crew has now got the Crucible, and we see Sourblade coming out for attack and surprising a Spell Sword. But what's a really important item, Burger, is that Echo that's come out from the Grace, which will give that double heal onto either member of their team. That will really stop, will really aid any kind of shutting down being stopped on the side of Fuerza Latina. So absolutely perfect. I feel it is slightly turning into Feroxx's favor, but it all comes down to how much they can focus, how much they can kite, and how much they can shut down this Adagio in the next team fight engagement.
Yep, as we see Vox, Sasuke is going to get a fountain of his own, we see.
I was going to point that out, Burger, when I just noticed, but then I left it over to yourself, and I was like, oh, I can't believe I missed that. So double fountain coming out on the side of Fuerza Latina. Pretty good stuff.
There goes Jay-chan. He's gonna dive, but the Valkyrie's gonna miss as Chamu stuns him up. He's already gonna have to use one charge of Divine Intervention to keep him alive. Here goes the second one on Mochi. That's all the sustain that Grace can provide. As they're so low, they have to back out. Chamu gonna land that stun onto Cruel, but Mochi is so low. He's gonna get that stun off the fortified health from the ultimate as Jaechan left by himself, but doing a stupid amount of damage. Sasuke escapes with a sliver of health, and that's going to be a crack into Fuerza.
Double fountain, man. Double fountain. It's kind of okay. Well, how are we going to negate the double divine intervention? Let's get double fountain. It does make sense. As I said, it's off meta. Their whole comp is off meta, but they are playing this off meta comp beautifully, Burger. You're seeing this really fantastic kiting coming out for the Vox against a Rhyme, where he's able to build up Dragon Point stacks, use the alternating current to his advantage on the basic attacks. And this is going to be his second Kraken coming out from Fuerza Latina. They are about 3k gold ahead. This could be the game-winning fight.
And there's the ace on the Moshi. Those minions are super powerful right now. And turret's going to go down, just a bare Vein Crystal. It's probably not going to survive, and we're all tied up here 1-1 Imperium. Well, not yet, but you know it's going to be.
I was just going to say, you know it. So
the comeback could be, but that's going to be the game. And Fuerza Latina looking really strong off meta.
Yeah, really strong off meta, but I think overall it came down to playing their power spikes really nicely. Burger, and also making sure that they had the right items on their kit. I do question the Shiver Seal coming out from Minisaito, at least in the early stages, maybe in the later stages after the Crucible. And what would have been a better item instead of the Shiver Seal would have been the War Threads, because it's a team-wide item, Burger, and it would have meant that it would have given better kiting ability to the Vox. Plus, it would have meant that instead of, let's say, applying the slow to one of the enemy team, it just would have meant the engagement by all three members of Fuerza Latina would have been stronger. But however, they captured it perfectly. They got 2 Krakens on the board, and they took this second game to bring it to 1-1.
Yeah, something I just wanted to say really quick was maybe another reason that Vox got that second fountain was because Rhyme was sticking on him in pretty much all of the team fights, and Fountain gives you an extra kinetic shield in the build path, so that extra CP defense was also probably what prompted the second fountain.
Exactly, and also because the Vox was being jumped on by the Rhyme, the Vox didn't really necessarily need a block. Yes, it could have been stunned by the ultimate or even the root by the Rhyme, but because he was able to kite so nicely, it just meant that, yeah, the fountain was a much better team-wide item from the Vox. So Fuerza Latina was absolutely fantastic in that second match.
Yeah, and we're looking to get into game 3 here. So Feroxx took the first map. They looked really strong, and then Fuerza Latina fought back. And so now if you're Feroxx, you're trying to get into this third game. What strategies do you think they're trying to use to just win the mental game? Because a best of 5 is a long set.
It is, but here's what's twice as interesting, Burger, is that I think they slightly, at least so far, they've already lost the mental game because they lost to an off-meta comp. And they didn't really have, they had a pretty decent meta comp. Weapon Power Adagio isn't really quite in the meta, but still strong. Burger, as you do see the attack of first ban coming out from Feroxx. But yeah, I think the mental game between the two teams has been won by Fuerza Latina so far, but it's the third game of the series. Only time will tell, and we'll see what the first ban is going to come out from Fuerza.
Yeah, we've seen lanes play Taka twice to pretty great effect, honestly, and we see Vox going to get banned, the other hero that got played twice. And so these are just respect bans at this point. Each team has seen each other for 2 games. They know how the other one plays. And, these are just respect bans. And, that might be allowing a Koshka to get through, or a Varia, or some other of those more broken heroes, as we kind of see. But, maybe off meta is the way to go.
It could be, but the Turnwalker is picked up by Feroxx as their first pick. Pretty strong. They played the Turnwalker in the first game, if I do remember correctly. And they played it very nicely. Fuerza Latina, I think they could look to pick up something like a Ringo first. Hero Ringo is very strong carry right now. Of course, Vox on the CP build path is somewhat taken over in the 2.12 patch. You cannot deny how strong Ringo is. Got barely changed from the previous patch, but they go for the Arden. What's interesting about Arden Burger is that he kind of got a bit of a nerf. So I do question why he's more of a priority pick than, let's say, Grace in this 2.12 patch. Maybe it's comfort, but we'll find out as they do ban the Cruel as their second ban on Fuerza Latina.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's a comfort ban, or a comfort pick. Sorry, as Arden has been meta for a while, and so I'm pretty sure that everybody knows how to play him at this point. And if you're, Sido on Latina, you want to play something that you're good at. You just took a game win, and as we see the Ringo banned off here by Feroxx, who do you think that they're gonna pull up here on Latina?
For Fuerza Latina, I think they might possibly go for a Rona, or even a Blackfeather. Let's not forget that Blackfeather was such a strong pick in the previous patch, Burger, that he's still strong. Yeah, he got nerfed somewhat, but he's still a very strong hero, and he's still quite flexible between jungle and between jungle lane, CP, and weapon power. So let's not dismiss this Blackfeather coming out. But if you're asking me to pick, I think it's going to be Rona. Rona's very solid. It will provide. Rona works really well with the Arden, being able to get on the hero a little bit.
There's Sky. Sky's going to be their first carry pick for Fuerza. I'm guessing that's going to be a CP jungle Sky, probably. That's where she's shown the most strength recently, especially with the new patch. I don't think she got changed all that much, so this will be interesting.
Yeah, and you know what? If I was Feroxx, I'd go for at least a Koshka, and then possibly in lane a Rona. The reason why, okay, maybe not Rona because Sky does somewhat counter Rona, but the reason why I say Koshka is because Koshka absolutely shreds Arden in the early stages of the game. And with a Turnwalker providing those hook and chains in the AoE damage, if Feroxx were to pick up a Koshka and play the strong early game, they could really shut down the Arden and then the Sky in the jungle, and then essentially camp, starve out the enemy team, and then snowball from there. So I'd like to see Koshka come out, but to go for the Blackfeather and maybe even then a Koshka on their last pick.
Mm-hmm. Koshka has become the new Broken Feather in 3v3, as she's got her barrier back, and while Blackfeather lost his barrier, or it's not as strong on point anymore, and the Rose offensive cooldown did get increased, so he's still viable as a weapon power carry, and even as a jungler, as we do see Koshka. You're a mind reader, Imperium.
No, it's just kind of, well, yeah, I am a mind reader. No, I joke. It's just knowing the fact that Koshka is very strong and Blackfeather is quite viable. Yeah, you're right that his Rose offensive isn't necessarily as strong, and his on point, it doesn't apply the slow compared to the last patch, but he's still very mobile, very flexible, is able to get out of the likes of the gauntlet with the Rose offensive, is able to kind of move around the enemy team. And as we do see, Rhyme is the last hero to be picked up by Fuerza Latina. Good, but as I said, if Feroxx play a strong early game and shut down the Rhyme and the Arden, they can really snowball it.
Yep. You know, the early game I feel like is swinging a lot towards Feroxx, but Koshka does fall off pretty hard late game, and Weapon Sky especially scales really well late game.
Yeah.
And so if the Sky and Ryan combination can survive to late game, I think that they can take this game, but it's just up to Feroxx to not let them get there.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I said it all comes down to the snowball burger, and it all comes down to that early stage game and what Feroxx can do. And I do feel that they do have the ability as a team between synergy, between strategy. We saw it in the first game to take over, and they've got to jump at it. They've got to do it, and they've got to do it in the first 4.5, 5 minutes. If they don't do it, then they're just essentially going to be fighting an uphill battle. So time will tell, as you do see the standard rotations coming out from both teams, Burger.
Fuerza Latina is going to contest this mid tree, and they are going to pick it up as well. As Shamu, not a lot he can do against a 3-man team. We see this might be interesting because Team Feroxx is going to get level 2 on their carries before Sasuke and Lanes do, especially with Shamu just being a nuisance in the jungle here. So we see that Moshi and Daesung are already level 2, and they're gonna jump on as Sasuke is already low health, but Moshi gets rooted up. Lanes getting a really good root there, as Sasuke and Moshi will both be forced to port.
Yeah, that was a really good first rotation coming out from Fuerza Latina. They recognize the strength of the early game that that potentially will come out from Feroxx. So by getting the mid century first, or the mid treant, it means that they did get all the rotations between both ambient and experience on both their carry and their jungler, and survived that kind of early first game kill coming out from first blow coming out from Feroxx, but it's not going to stop them now going on to Ryan Burger.
J-Chan getting bursted so low, he's going to pop the flash to stay alive. Lanes just got so much sustain already at level 2. The huge hook from Chamu is going to pull him off. And if Moshi can get a really good combo here, he's not going to. Lanes is going to pick up that tree, and here comes a Suri strike and a take him down. Chamu going to look in trouble. Not a very mobile captain, and he's gonna have to escape under his turret as Sasuke takes a shot, but he is gonna fall here.
He is gonna fall indeed, and this is definitely going towards Fuerza Latina. This early stage.
But there's the kill on to Sasuke.
But look at the jungle. Look at the Rhyme in the jungle of Feroxx. So they're kind of doing what Fuerza Latina should realistically done in the early stages. So Feroxx are kind of losing the stronghold of this game. The gold is over to this somewhat late game scaling comp on Fuerza Latina, and I'm impressed.
Yep, as we see Sasuke being pushed back under his turret, Moshi's gonna take that sentry. And really quickly, Moshi's played lane these past 2 games, and flexing him onto the Koshka, it might be something he's more comfortable on, or maybe J-Chan is more comfortable on Blackfeather as a more traditional jungle pick. But it'll be interesting. The flexibility out of Feroxx isn't something that we've seen out of Fuerza. It might have thrown them off a little bit.
It might have thrown them off, but I actually don't feel it has. If I was Fuerza Latina, the way I would look at it is, it doesn't matter who's playing the heroes. The important part is that as a team, we look to win these team fights. It doesn't matter if the Pope is playing the Blackfeather. It really doesn't matter, because once they can win these team fights, and it seems like they potentially can.
Oh, Sasuke getting pulled in by the Torment, and J-Chan is going to have to deal with a minion candy wave, but not really that big of a deal. But Lanes is just farming, Moshi is up here contesting, which means he isn't farming, and we see this turret getting taken down. Lane's coming to rotate up. Jay-chan going really low, already popping his flask as Saido gonna punch forward. Lane's with the root onto Chamu. He's going so low. Those Winter Spire's gonna do a lot of damage, but it looks like Feroxx will escape unscathed here.
By the way, on the side of Fuerza Latina, I think it's double CP because Sky has got Christopher, even though he's got fucking eulogies. You know, he has got that heavy prism. Unless he got the heavy prism for the forward barrage damage, but I just feel that it's going to be double CP coming out from Fuerza Latina, which isn't a bad thing when you're against a Black Feather and a Koshka.
Yep, as Jay-chan gonna get caught out maybe a little bit here. He wants a kill on the Sasuke, but Moshi's gonna be here to back him up as Lanes takes a bit of damage, but Jay-chan taking more. The huge Valkyrie gonna take him, but the stun is avoided by Rose Offensive. Moshi's gonna back off. He's a very low health Koshka, can't really do much as Jay-chan ports home. He can't support his team anymore as Sasuke will forward barrage his way out of that one. Moshi gonna have to run for his life.
Yeah, he's gonna look to steal these little bit of fronts that are coming out. Just to point out, Moshi still hasn't got a full tier 1 item on this Koshka, and nearly 6 minutes into this game. So that's kind of really not helping their team in this early to mid game. Burger, you know, Black Feather's doing his own thing, got the Serpent's Mask first item, not bad. You know, the goal is still very close. So that's one thing to point out. The goal is very even between these two teams, Burger. I think it's just going to come down to kind of these team fight engagements, how much protection you can provide for the Sky. In my opinion, Sky is going to be the hero that Arden is going to have to focus on surviving.
The root lands onto Jay-chan, but Moshi's going to tank a lot of damage. Death from above, and here comes the Yummy Cat and Frenzy gonna hit Sasuke. He's going so low, and that's a double kill for Blackfeather. Saido is the only one left. He's gonna have to run way far under turret. On Point and Faint of Heart gonna both land, but that won't be enough damage quite yet. As the first turret, here's the snowball that you were talking about, Imperium.
Well, okay, less snowball and more power spike, Burger. Aftershock, Yummy Catnip, without reflex block, GG team fight, and that was perfect by Feroxx. Really well played on that power spike. It's what you want to do when you have the likes of a Koshka on your team. Now we see reflex block coming out from the Sky, so that is definitely gonna, let's say, make sure that Feroxx are, let's say, more careful on their engagement. But they took advantage and they got a turret out of that. So really good stuff.
Yeah, really good objective focus out of Team Feroxx here, as they're gonna 3-man push this wave and maybe catch Fuerza Latina in the mustache bush here, as this lane belongs to Team Feroxx right now, honestly.
Yeah, it does a little bit, but now we're gonna see all the Fuerza Latina rotating up. You know, they. As we see,
here comes Death from Above, gonna miss Moshi, but Chamu gets stunned. Jay-chan forcing to back off without his captain to protect him. The Torment gonna land. That's a double stun. Yummy Catnip Frenzy gonna take out Rhyme, and that's another kill for this Koshka. Getting more and more fed as Blackfeather is just gonna push this wave, and Sasuke, he's stuck. He can't really forward barrage like he wants to. He can't reposition without running into that Koshka, as we see Death from Above gonna stun up Jay-chan. Moshi going so low, same with Chamu, as that just dive coming out of Moshi is too strong for Sky to handle.
It's the synergy by Feroxx in these team fight engagements are really being the winning point for their team, because you saw the trespass into the Yummy Catnip, but not the Yummy Catnip onto the Sky. Why? Because the Sky had a reflex block. Let's Yummy Catnip the Rhyme. The Rhyme does not have reflex block, and with that, it meant that all of Feroxx were able to jump onto Rhyme and shut it down, and it became 3v2. So it just comes down to that synergy by Feroxx that are winning them these team fights, less So let's say they've got better heroes. They're just synergizing better as a team so far.
Yeah, and something I wanted to point out real quick is the double Dragon Eye that's been finished for both lanes and Sasuke. So the longer these team fights are lasting, is the more they're going to swing towards Fuerza Latina, which is how these heroes want to play as well. You know, Kashka wants to burst down heroes, and he's not, or she, excuse me, isn't good at sustained team fights, because if you can get rooted by Rhyme, boom, dead.
Yeah, fair point, but there's no point in having a Dragon's Eye if if the enemy team have an Aegis as this entry is defeated, because you got no Broken Myth. There's only Dragon's Eye Clockwork. If I was the Rhyme, I would have gotten Broken Myth first item, because that at least would have chunked through the shield that was coming out on the side of Feroxx, and at least would have done a little bit more damage. I get the Dragon's Eye, but as I said, you're double CP, so it's like when you're double weapon power, for example, Burger, you want to have at least one bone saw. So when you're double CP, you want to have at least one Broken Myth in the early stages of the game, just chunk through that shield. As fantastic map control again coming out from Feroxx, getting that immense gold payout, and their gold lead has gone up to roughly about 4k.
Yeah, this map in all 3 games really has huge feint of heart damage. Chunks down Sasuke a little bit. These maps have belonged to Feroxx. They're doing really good at objective control and map pressure and all those things that, you know, win you games. You know, you can have all the kills in the world, but as Jay-chan wants kills of his own, Moshi by himself up by turret pressuring, and Fuerza Latina gonna back down as we see this wave getting pushed up. This might be a turret, and it will, as a double root, but here comes a Yummy Cat and a Frenzy on a Rhyme. Still no reflex block, they're abusing that with the huge Valkyrie's gonna come down to stun, and the return stun from Trespass. There goes Arden, the laner's down, Captain's down, everybody's down. 3 kills right there, as Moshi and Shamu are still alive, and they want blood. Sasuke gonna be forced to forward barrage away, as this looks like yet another team fight one for Feroxx.
It's not over till it's over though, but now it is over. At the 12-minute mark, lovely caster curse come out there, but now look at Feroxx. They're not going to be able to get a turret. Maybe the minions might get the turret. No, but what can they do? They get the Crystal Sentry plus the jungle of Fuerza Latina. It's just the perfect team focus.
Yep, Rhyme has opted for an Atlas instead of a block, and that might come back to bite him, as there comes a Yummy Cat and a Frenzy, a 3rd time gonna land on the Rhyme. He's already at less than half health, and here's the whole team. That huge weapon damage is just gonna take him out. Chamu picks up the kill. Mini Saito being forced to Vanguard away onto Sasuke to avoid the deaths, and, you know, not even for Fuerza's jungle is safe anymore.
No, it's not, and that's what you call kind of, you know, I question Feroxx in terms of the early game. They slightly lost it, but as I said, the second they hit the power spike on the Koshka, boy, did they go into overdrive. They just took it to another level. Objective, team fight. Objective, team fight. And it's just perfect. But Fuerza Latina, they were always going to be taking a risk going for double CP, Burger. I just don't think it's paying off against this comp. Weapon Power Sky would have been, I feel, a lot more viable against this comp.
Yeah, weapon. And there's the Yummy Cat and Frenzy. Arden not using his Crucible, and that's already a kill onto Sky, and there's the kill onto Arden. That's already 2 kills before this team fight's even started. There's nothing that that Fuerza Latina can do, and that's just another free gold mine going over to Feroxx here.
Free gold mine, free men's payout, increases their goal lead, increases their item lead, increases their map dominance. I've got one thing though to say, is that there has been great vision that's come out from Fuerza Latina that hasn't quite been, not all of it has quite been popped. But yeah, just a lot more map control, a lot more vision control, a lot more just game dominance. It means that they're going to be able to just give themselves a better chance of winning these next team fights, as we're only about 30 seconds away from Kraken spawning as well.
Yeah, Jay-chan just wants Sky. The Vanguard's gonna stall him out as he gets rooted for a long time. That's a good Rose offensive to get out, but they're all so low. Trespass gets blocked up, and that's Blackfeather down. Chamu is in trouble. Moji gets a bit of a barrier there, and with the Kraken up, this could be the push that Fuerza Latina needs, as Moshi's just dancing around the fights. And what a huge trespass from Chamu to just get away. But Moji is he's looking a little too far forward.
He is, and that was a really good team fight from Fuerza Latina. They won it. They're maybe showing this late game prowess, as we do see a little bit of better defense coming out from both the Sky and the Ryan. The Ryan being just a little bit more sustainable. The Kraken is going to look to be captured by Fuerza Latina, but
Moshi wants kills. You can't shake the Kraken if you're dead, and that's a double kill for Blackfeather. And he stole the Kraken!
Yeah, he stole the Kraken. It was that on point. He got the double kill. He got the Kraken. Feroxx, you absolute legend. Oh my god. Like,
and that's an ace too.
Is this game 3 just going to go over to Feroxx? Time will tell. The Kraken is up. Yes, the Sentry does have 1 life left, but that's not going to be able to do much for Fuerza Latina. That was the worst possible outcome to that Kraken take for Fuerza Latina. I do feel a little bit sorry for them, because it was good for them to try to take it. They had a good bit of damage, but man, that on point Blackfeather, I bow to you. Perfect stuff.
Yeah, Mosji, stick to jungle, man. You found a new Blackfeather lane as Sasuke gets burst down, but he's gonna come back. Oh, the huge gauntlet gets stunned, or gets blocked up, excuse me. Sasuke, the barely enough health as he gets pulled in from Churnwalker. That's another double kill from Jay-chan. He's just on fire. 9-2 already, and 17 minutes perfectly. Game 3, Team Feroxx.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. Like, when you're playing double CP Burger, you just give your enemy team more chance to be really tanky against you, because all they have to do is build essentially one type of defense for both your carry and your jungle. And as we saw, Blackfeather had 1 Aegis, and he was building into a 2nd Aegis. And because of that, I find it interesting with the tension bow last item. I get it, because, you know, you're able to just kind of get that strong initial engagement onto a squishy hero like Sky, which kind of helps make the Sky back off. I would have felt maybe even Spell Sword, Sorrow Blade would have been, let's say, a better last item just for core weapon power damage, but Tension Bow did the job. You know, what I was noticing was that Mosji was actually building into a 2nd fountain for his team. That's how much control they had, and also how much control they were willing to look to take in the game Burger, because they weren't resting on their laurels. They were thinking, okay, we have to secure this game even more. So what can we do? We've got CP defense. We don't have to get weapon power defense. The Blackfeather is going for a 2nd Aegis. Why not get a 2nd fountain? It made sense.
Again, and the last game, the kinetic shield built into the fountain is giving you extra CP defense, and if both enemies are CP, then that's, you know, negating all of the damage that's coming out. As we're going to look to get into what could be our final game here. Team Feroxx looking to close out the 3-1 win against Fuerza Latina here, and possibly to face Misfits.
Possibly, that is something that will be determined later on, but look, that is for the future. That is going to be for tomorrow or the next night or night after. That will be time will tell scenario. But it's far from over for Fuerza Latina. They were able to crawl back from 1-0 down to get 1-all. They can easily go from 2-1 down to 2-all. I kind of don't quite get what changed for them between the second and the third game, other than, let's say, a stronger comp and stronger team play coming out by Feroxx. Fuerza Latina, they seem to kind of revert back to how they did in the first game. They need to channel that inner second game strength, that inner off meta comp, and just rise above on the fold for the third game in the series, and let's see what they can do. We are just ready to kind of find out and get the link for the draft this third game. Burger, man, this is hype. This is good stuff that we're seeing between these two teams. I think they're both pushing each other to be the best that they can be, and it's kind of these minor, consistent mistakes that are happening for either team that's causing them a loss. So with this fourth game, it's now or never, as we are about to get into the draft for this.
Now or never is sometimes the best motivator if you're a team facing elimination, as Fuerza Latina is, and they're going to be on A side. They're going to have first ban and first pick as Churnwalker immediately gets banned away.
Yeah, Churnwalker immediately banned by Fuerza Latina makes sense. They've lost against the Churnwalker in both games. They could have picked it up for as first pick, because I always felt that Vox is going to be banned by Feroxx anyway. So, there's always going to be little chance they're going to be able to pick up the Vox. However, maybe they just prefer the Arden. Is strong, mobile, and you're able to, let's say, build a very strong comp around the Captain Arden. So time will tell. Grey Stow Feroxx will make sense, but could easily be something like a Koshka, Ringo, Blackfeather, or even something like a Lance, possibly. Only time will tell. Oh, Burger!
Curse of the caster? More like blessing of the caster, right?
That is the blessing of the caster. That is just absolutely Githian wall level predictions that I made. It was more of a kind of an off meta kind of pick / in the meta pick, as we do see Taka being banned by Feroxx. I do think that's a good ban, because Taka is a hero that Lance has trouble kind of defending, because Dikaku is able to, let's say, stop the Lance being able to either impale or Githian wall. It requires a lot of kind of reflex and a lot of kind of a positive mind frame to, like, let's say, know where the attacker is going to go, and that does take a lot out of you as a captain, and a lot of focus out of what you have to do for the rest of the game. So good ban by Feroxx, and then we see the cruel ban by coming out from Fuerza Latina. Burger, really strong ban. However, it does leave open heroes like Koshka, Ringo, even a Blackfeather, but they do go for the Sky.
Yeah, you're preaching to my heart, man. A Lance one trick does not like playing against Takas. And so that was a very good ban by them. And especially since Lanes has been proven to be so good on Taka the 2 games that he did play. And so I'm thinking they just want to go comfort comps for Feroxx. Just close out this game, get an easy win, and then move on, right? Fuerza Latina, on the other hand, their backs are against the wall, so maybe they're going to be the ones to try something a little bit more crazy.
Yeah, of course. And if they can pull it out, I believe they can, because they did it the last time they were 1-0 down. But there's 2 reasons. There's a double barrel reason why Feroxx went for Sky. Because Sky counters Lance, okay? And also Taka is off the table. So there's far better chance that by picking up the Sky, you're going to have a lot better strength in this game. But we do see it's a Blackfeather Ringo. CP Blackfeather in the jungle? Or do you think it's going to be CP Ringo in the lane?
I'm thinking it's going to be CP Blackfeather, because against Sky, Ringo likes to dance around fights, and CP Ringo while he does do a lot of damage with his with the Achilles shot, the critical damage that he's going to get from his perk in the lane will be much more effective against Skye. I mean, that's only assuming that Skye is in the lane. You know, if they can flex her into the jungle, maybe I would want a weapon Blackfeather to stick on her better, and so that the sustained damage can ramp up way quicker than just a on-point burst.
Yeah, exactly. I'm kind of trying to think what could be the last pick coming out from Feroxx. It could be, and I know that that Fuerza Latina played a double CP comp in the last game, but we could see something like a Celeste or Samuel, but they go for the Ozo. What's interesting is it going to be CP Ozo or is it going to be weapon power Ozo Burger?
Oh man, Lance and Ozo, Humanist would have a field day right now with this comp. And, you know, I'm hedging on CP Ozo and weapon Skye. But we did see a CP Skye last game, and so maybe that's something that Feroxx feels more comfortable on. And, you know, weapon power Ozo does do a lot of base damage on his 3-ring Circus. And with these two squishy carries, you know, there's not like a Rhyme or a Cruel or someone that can tank a lot of hits. So it'll be interesting to see if the Skye can stick on targets, if Ozo can give good stick, and let's jump right into it.
Yeah, and just to point out that in the 2.12 patch, the Ozo did get essentially a buff on his Bangarang, which is his ultimate. The travel speed has been increased from 12 to 16, which essentially means that it's somewhat going to be harder to block. And also the cooldown has been reduced from 70, 55, 40 to 70, 50, 30 seconds. So that's going to be quite interesting as far as if it is a CP Ozo and let's say a weapon power Skye, the Bangarang is going to be up a lot more and it's going to technically be harder to block. So with that will put pressure on Fuerza Latina to, let's say, build a Crucible really early, and therefore, if it's weapon power Skye, not have weapon power defense early and gives the Skye more freedom to get the 2 or 3 item power spike in the game that she needs to get before she hits her power spike. So it's really interesting to kind of comp that Feroxx have gone for and how they're going to play this game out, Burger.
Yep, as we're jumping into this decisive game 4 on the Fold Imperium, we've got the comp of Team Feroxx and the comp of Fuerza Latina. So which one are you leaning towards for this game?
I'm gonna lean towards Feroxx just simply because the synergy I saw them pull out in the last game was really fantastically done, and they played on their power spikes perfectly. And I feel that if it's CPOs or with that power spike of an aftershock and the CC that's going to come out from the Lance, they can really pull off some fantastic moves and then shut down Fuerza Latina even harder. What would you say yourself?
I'm feeling Team Feroxx on this one because, you know, they've got Ozo, who does very good, especially with an aftershock against the squishier targets like Ringo and like Blackfeather. And Ringo doesn't like to be jumped on when he's trying to kite, and that's exactly what Ozo does. He quite literally jumps on you. And so
no, yeah, just to say he quite does, and just kind of point out we've both gone for Feroxx, but let's see if Fuerza Latina can prove us both wrong.
You know, the luck of the Golden Lance skin might be just what they need to force a Game 5. As they're going to start contesting this mid-treant here, the Acro Bounce will secure it for Mosji, and the double root coming down, Sido already so low, Mosji's basic attack is just going, but Ozo gets picked off by lanes, already doing a ton of damage here as CP Blackfeather, which we will see in the jungle, as Mosji's forced to Surrey Strike over the wall, but there's a huge root. Sasuke is so low, but so is Lanes. He's going to have to be very careful here, as Chamu will survive with his life.
That's what I'm talking about, the synergy that's coming out from Feroxx. Yes, they lost First Blood, which is actually very important for Fuerza Latina, but that Impale going into forward barrage can really have the potential of shutting down Fuerza Latina. So good stuff by Fuerza not to kind of become too intimidated because they are a game down, that they are kind of trying to be somewhat aggressive even in this early stages of the game with the CP Blackfeather. And it's paid off. They got their first kill gold payout. They are about about 200 gold ahead, but we are going to see the Ringo is going to be able to farm up under turret as much as possible. Get those minions up there and just try and get as much gold in his pocket and in his arsenal as possible.
Something interesting also is Saito has been focusing vision in his kit instead of early fountain items, and Sasuke also has a flare in his kit, which could be really helpful if Saito tries to rotate so he can spot out ganks. But Team Feroxx being a bit more aggressive in this minion wave that they have been, and that's what you want to do as this sort of comp. You want to snowball and you want to just close out games. And if you are Team Feroxx, you're probably mentally exhausted as well and just want to clean this sucker out.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. Like you kind of just want to get over the hill. You don't want to give your enemy team any chance to take it to game 5, which will be mentally quite demanding for both teams. So,
and both casters.
And both casters. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm ready to go another 5 games. It's
hell yeah.
Bring that on. Hell yeah. But however, we are in this 4th game, and Feroxx, we're just kind of trying to go into the enemy jungle. It didn't quite work out as we see Super going on to Moshi.
Moshi getting poked down just a little bit, and he's gonna be okay for the moment with Chamo here to help him, and the Suri strike gonna chunk down Saito, but the Impale's gonna miss, and that's not gonna be a kill, as Moji's gonna be forced to port back here, as here comes J-Chan rotating up.
Yes, indeed, that is going to be a good rotation. It's a quicker rotation with Blackfeather, so time will tell if it pays off.
Oh, that impact damage! I don't think J-Chan was expecting it, but it almost killed Saito right there. He was so close to death, but backing off turret, and there's another missed impale, but they're gonna chunk down a lot of health, and Ozo's corny luck means that he's gonna be healthy most of the time for these little poke fights, and that's exactly where you want to be as Ozo.
Yeah, and he didn't even have an aftershock power spike, and he was already doing that much damage. So imagine what he will be able to do when he picks up an aftershock as his first item, which presumably is going to be the case. The Sky, I like the way that the Sky opted for weapon power defense. It really helped in a certain game.
Oh, death from above not going to catch out Saito. Moji looks to just put some pressure onto this turret, but he's not going to be able to without a minion wave. Not quite yet. And the old babysit the meta lane, or babysit the lane meta. Wow, it's late. As we see Chamu just providing some crowd control for Moji, not letting Sasuke burst him down quite as easily, as we see a rotation coming out as that aftershock power spike has hit. But just a defensive acro bounce there.
Well, the Ringo isn't in lane, and also as Ozo, you want to be careful not to dive too far into the turret, which is why they do have to be patient, not rush the engage.
But here comes the engage. J-Chan doing a lot of damage. Here comes the Bangarang around the wall, hitting Sasuke, and he's gonna get punished for that a little bit. Sky is just now rotating up. But
also, let's not just point out the Ringo has his spell to a power spike.
There's the stun onto Saito. There's the kill, the first kill for Feroxx, but that's gonna be punished pretty hard as Ozo will fall here. And as we're looking at this first couple fights, who do you think is?
I think it's very even burger between the two teams. Actually, there's very little goal difference, but we do see that Ringo does go down. So yeah, we are just gonna. I'm just gonna look to pick that up as I do notice that Burger has come across a couple of technical issues on his voice. So we'll look to pick this up while he gets himself sorted. So we do see that, yeah, Feroxx and Fuerza Latina there. It's been pretty even between the two teams. Small bit goal. You see Ozo jumping on to the Ringo and just forcing that Vanguard onto Ringo just to make sure that he can kind of play it safety, go behind the turret. Good aggression coming out from Feroxx with the good wave, the impale followed by the getting wall onto the Arden, followed by the Bangarang, and then they jump onto the Arden, take it down from there. Now we do see that the Black Feather does come up, but great fountain that comes out from Shamu just to try and help survive that impale again, going into the getting wall, and then with the basic damage and the Ozo is just shutting down these heroes. Great team synergy between these teams. That turret dive coming out from Ozo, getting the double kill. Impressive play, not quite the ace, but it's going to help them secure that first turret. You are back with us, Burger.
Alright, sorry about that, but I am back, and Team Feroxx took that first turret in pretty decisive manner, and especially now that they're going to rotate through the jungle, maybe they can pick up a gold mine here, a cheeky steal, as they've got about 3,000 gold up, but they just want more in their pockets as they progress into this late game.
Well, they've got the first turret off the table on the side of Fuerza Latina, so you know, I feel like going for the gold mine at least at that point, because it is only less than 9 minutes into this game, Burger, and the death timers aren't that high. If they had have gotten an ace, I would have said yes to the gold mine, because the minion wave would have done its job in pushing the wave even higher. But because they didn't get the ace, they were just able to secure the turret, and it just helped increase their match control. And you see another engagement.
Yep, and there he goes, J-Chan. Oh, you see that Carney Luck perk just doing so much, but it's not going to be enough. He's going to fall, but so will Sasuke. Moshi's going so low, he's going to pop his flask. As that's a double kill for lanes there on Blackfeather, as Chamu is just going to do his best to get away. And what went wrong there, do you think?
It's just that CP Blackfeather with the on point, even though it's not applying the slow, it's really chunking down all of Team Feroxx, you know, and that's what it came down to. Even though they were kind of focusing on trying to get the Ringo, whether positioning wasn't quite there, or just, as I said, the Blackfeather kind of really doing the on point damage, as he has got Aftershock first item, which I think is good, because he could have gone Dragon's Eye, but that would have required, let's say, kind of building up the stacks. And when you're against an Ozer that has a lot of dive, it's kind of like, let's just follow that with pure damage, and then however the team fight goes, I'm just going to be doing consistent core damage.
Yep, and consistent core damage is the foundation of the build, as they're going to see the gold miner getting started up by Feroxx here. Fuerza Latina is forced back so far in their own half of the map with the first turret gone, that they didn't even have a chance to contest this, as Ozo will pick it up, and there goes the Bangarang. You see how quickly that move speed will increase as Saito gets jumped on, but there's a huge damage on the lanes. He's gonna get forced behind the turret as the huge Hellfire Brew will land on Moji, but that was a net gain, I think, if you're Feroxx, just winning the mental game.
Yeah, winning mental physical game, but that is good, strong engagement coming out from Blackfeather on point doing that chunk damage. One thing I want to point out though, this Ringo, I feel like he's missed the better build that he should have gone down. As far as Spell Sword, definitely not a bad choice, but you can't deny the fact that he realistically needs a Poison Shift and a Breaking Point, at least one or both of those in the early to mid stages of the game. Poison Shift just to help negate the healing coming out from the Ozo, and the Breaking Point because there is a potential of the team fights going on a little bit longer, and because the Blackfeather has burst damage, you know, the Breaking Point will be able to build up stacks, Poison Shiv, take out the Mortal Wounds, and then that would give his team, you know, or give himself a better chance of chunking down both the Ozo and then going onto the Sky once he builds up the...
Speaking of jumping down, there goes the turret. Sasuke gets jumped on the 3-ring circus, and the Sky will get melted immediately. And J-Chan is the next target. He's falling so low, trying to get onto Ringo, and that healing is doing so well. That huge damage will finish him off. Can he heal enough? And it looks like he will. Fountain was popped for Chamu already. Same with Saito, so there's no second chances, but they don't even need one. As the... Oh, he was so close, but Chamu, Hero Lance takes that kill, and that's going to be an ace. You know, Lance, not the greatest wave clear hero, but he can still get a bunch of damage onto the turret.
Yeah, of course, there's no doubt about it, and it's an ace. It's an ace buff minion wave, so yeah, the Hellfire Brew is going to go onto the minions. That's actually not a bad idea. You could turn around and say, yeah, that's a waste of a Hellfire Brew, but that really took out all of the minion wave. As you eat that Lance has picked up the Echo Burger, which is going to provide even more CC with double impale, double Githian wall, and even hell, even a double roll on that ultimate could really help in the positioning and the movement for Lance, because even though Lance provides a lot of CC, his movement is very linear, and that can potentially get him caught out. But even if he does choose in the right situation to provide the Echo on his ultimate, it will give him just that little bit more mobility and positioning for team fight engagement. So we'll find out how that does play out in the next team fight. You know, really close between these two teams in the fourth game. Both of them are fighting for their lives, Burger.
Yep, and we're starting to see Blackfeather start to scale up a little bit. He's got his second item, but he's been forced to put so much into defense, especially because, you know, J-Chan's already got 2 items and an Aegis completed. He's just doing so much damage already, and he's surviving as he gets rooted, stunned, Lane's just getting perma CC comboed as the huge gauntlet's gonna stun up Mosji, but there's another huge stun. Chamu is doing so much work on Lance, and it's allowed J-Chan to just go free reign, take out the other 2 members, and that's gonna be an ace at the 14-minute mark. There goes a Crystal Sentry, there goes some farm, and maybe even a gold mine if they can sneak that one in.
I think they can. Lance is back, baby. Gold skill Lance is back in the 2.12 meta, Burger.
Skins get wins.
Skins get wins indeed, but it's like I've always said, you pick a comp that one counters the enemy team or stops the enemy team countering your comp. That's what Feroxx have done with the Skylance pickup. And also, as a synergistic team, they are pulling it off so perfectly. Chamu, Githian walls and stuns all the way to the bank that got them that ace in the last team fight. So I think it's playing into their hand.
There's a root, there's a stun, there's a not a second stun, but he's gonna go in, and the Atlas Ozo being forced to flee. That crit damage is gonna be too much, and this looks like a turning point maybe for Fuerza, but they get 2 kills down, and J-Chan stayed alive there just long enough so that he could regen back to full health, basically, and that's going to be a crack, and that might even be a game if Mosji tries to push this wave.
I don't think it's quite going to be game, Burger. They will get the turret, they will maybe possibly get down the choke point turret in the sky. However, I do feel that Fuerza Latina can defend this Kraken quite well. The weapon power Ringo is doing a lot of damage on the Spell Sword, Tyrant Monocle, Breaking Point build, and yes, that Breaking Point has been picked up, but if he's going to go for 4 damage items, which I think is a good idea, it has to be a poison shift. I really feel it has to be a poison shift because he hasn't got weapon power defense, Burger. He's not really going to be able to go onto the Sky so much because the Sky has Metal Jacket. So the Ozo has to be his focus because he's got Aegis. With the poison shiv will really help stop the Ozo, as you do see the Kraken is bearing down on the side of
There goes Jay-chan, just so much damage. Here comes a gauntlet, but the Bangarang will stun him up. Death from above gonna be blocked out, but the fountain is popped. Jay-chan's in the base, and he's still doing tons of damage. Fountain gets popped to keep Moshi alive, as here comes a full health Kraken marching down. Team Feroxx, they could be content with just leaving Kraken and taking some objectives, but they're not gonna be content. They're gonna keep on fighting. Huge amounts of health regenerated there, but Sky will get melted down, but it's not gonna be that bad of a loss.
No, they got one of the Vein Crystal turrets. They didn't quite get the second one, and I did say that Fuerza Latina would defend that Kraken push quite nicely. They took down the Sky when they had the chance. Oh, this is still close. It's about 8k goal difference between the two teams. Fuerza Latina are hanging it in by a thread. I do feel they have a chance, but like I said, you know, Ringo has to get that fourth damage item. I feel like he's going for a second Tyrant. Not a bad idea.
There goes a huge jump damage. He was out of energy, not a lot he could do. Jay-chan gonna block the Bangarang, but here comes those bounce damages. 2v3ing, and he's gonna take out... Oh no, he gets stunned out of the wall, and that was such a bad move there, but he's gonna not even care taking that kill. Arden is just gonna get CC comboed so long, and there's another route. There's another... Oh, that's it. Team Feroxx gonna close out this series, possibly? Curse of the Caster can't say anything.
Well, no, this is dive. They're not even worrying about the minion wave. They know they have both the CC, the core damage, and just the sustain to be able to tank that turn. I do believe that is going to be GG and series win for Feroxx. They really pushed Fuerza Latina hard. The last two games, they just kind of went into their own synergy between plays, and the drafting that came out from them. Oh my god, really impressive stuff. And, you know, Fuerza Latina, it's not that there's not much that they can do. They let themselves somewhat be countered in the draft, but I feel like they weren't really expecting the level of drafting that was coming out of Feroxx. And yeah, between the items, between the synergistic plays, you know, Feroxx just really took it